So because Final Destination Bloodlines has been doing so well in theaters, it has fans speculating on what the next big premonition disaster could be, assuming a seventh movie gets greenlit, which at this point I feel like the chances of that happening are very likely. The Skyview Tower collapse is definitely going to be a hard act to follow just because it was executed so fucking well, but I do feel like the one place where it kind of lacked a little bit is the fact that it isn't quite as relatable as the past premonition disasters. So personally, I think they should focus a little more on that as opposed to making it a big bombastic thing. I've seen a lot of people mention the fact that they could do like a water park premonition, which I do like. You could definitely do a lot with this one. My mind immediately goes to like a cruise ship premonition, which apparently we almost got something similar to this in Bloodlines. Adam Stein and Zach Lepofsky have said in interviews that whenever they first signed on to direct Bloodlines, the initial premonition disaster was supposed to be on a paddle boat. So obviously they ended up changing this, and their reasoning is pretty fair. They basically said that any disaster on a boat bared way too much similarity to the Titanic, and they did say that you can't really do Titanic better than Titanic, and that's why they ended up changing it, which I totally understand, but I still feel like you could do some pretty interesting things with this. But here's the idea that I've been kind of throwing around in my head. This is just a fan-made poster for Bloodlines, but it's the closest thing I found as a visual aid for my idea. So I really started thinking about the idea of these premonitions being relatable. So I thought of the idea of like an apartment building burning down, and then I thought to myself, is this a little too dark? But then I thought it could be really interesting to have all the tenants be very wealthy people, and then I thought maybe they could all be involved in like the same sort of like shady like business. They could all be relatively bad people so you don't feel too bad when they die. But I do think it could be interesting to have the visionary be like the son or daughter of one of the tenants and have them be sort of resentful of the fact that their family is so crooked and just flat out don't agree with the way that they accumulated their wealth. I'm not saying the Final Destination movies have to have a message, but it could be in the same vein as Saw 6 where it tackled healthcare, whereas here it could really tackle the idea of like corrupt wealthy people. I've even seen a few people online mention the fact that it'd be interesting to have two visionaries in a movie. You could probably apply that idea to this story as well. But like I said, this is just an idea I've been throwing around. I honestly think if done correctly, it could be a pretty interesting concept. But obviously, I don't write these movies, so I have no idea what they're gonna do. But I do think that after 6 movies, they need to start getting a little more creative with it. The whole Bloodlines concept for 6 was really cool, so I really just hope that the next one has something similar going for it. But yeah, be sure to let me know what you guys think of my idea in the comments, and let me know what you guys want to see as the next premonition disaster.